Hi everybody, Ron Placone here. I hope everybody had a nice holiday weekend. So over in Decatur County, Tennessee, my home state, the entire staff resigned over the announcement of same-sex marriage. The entire staff, of course, consisted of 3 people because it is a town of an estimated 11,000 residents. They, of course, did not want to recognize same-sex marriage and felt that their rights were being oppressed. Look, I'm not the first person to say this, it's been said before, but I feel that it needs repeating until the message is received. One cannot claim oppression when another group of people, especially if it's a group of people that's been marginalized for years and years, by the way, receives the same rights that you've already had. That's not how oppression works. Now, I'm part of the millennial generation that remembers right before the internet was part of our lives and remembers the transformation taking place during my childhood. The reason I bring this up is because when I was a kid, we did something kind of interesting called playing outside. Anybody under 20 may have a difficult time following this, I understand, but bear with me. The reason I bring this up is because there was a kid named Jimmy in my neighborhood. One day, Jimmy had a firecracker popsicle. Inappropriate thing to bring up since the 4th of July was recently, but anyway, those things are delicious. They're like half popsicle, half sherbet on a stick. It's really great. They're still wonderful. And of course, all the neighborhood kids were envious of Jimmy. They were like, oh, you're so lucky, that looks so delicious. And Jimmy was eating it and he was like, it sure is great. A few minutes later, Jimmy's mom came out and she had popsicles for everybody. That was the plan all along. She was going to give everybody a firecracker popsicle, not just Jimmy. So everyone was happy. Hey, we all had firecracker popsicles. How wonderful. Except for Jimmy. At that point, Jimmy was mad that he wasn't special anymore, that he didn't have the popsicle, so he moped and complained and he cried and he threw a tantrum fit. In this case, Jimmy was not being oppressed. Jimmy was just being a douche. But my religious views say dope in the Bible. Okay, look, religious people opposed to same-sex marriage. I'm just gonna say this. Put down the shiny thing. That's gonna be a distraction. Put it down, and listen up. I'm no biblical scholar, but there's a lot of weird messages in that book, and I have read it cover to cover. Messages pertaining to polygamy, to rape, to adultery, to getting haircuts, to eating shrimp, to blending fabrics. The list goes on and on. Maybe it's time to recognize, look, we're still figuring this stuff out, and instead of cherry-picking what we do and don't take literally, maybe we should just love each other and treat each other with respect, because that's one message I think Jesus was pretty clear on. Now, getting back to these 3 employees in Tennessee, none of them have any other job prospects. Quote, I truly believe God will take care of us. I'd imagine financial advisor is not on their list of future careers. Are you sure this investment's sound? I'm not really sure. Well, I prayed about it. That's all you get. Getting back to my Jimmy analogy, just for the record, Jimmy went on to do very well for himself. You know why? Because Jimmy acted like a child when he was a child. I mean, we were kids when that happened. I don't remember how old. We were like 6 or 17. I don't know. I'm not good with that stuff. Point is, you guys are adults with responsibilities, and I highly doubt that there's a flush job market in your town of 11,000 people. You had a stable gig with complete security that I'd imagine at least 10,000 other people were envious of and would love to have. And at the end of the day, I hate to break it to you, but you didn't prove anything. Rural Tennessee has a couple really small-minded people. That's hardly newsworthy. This is Ron Placone, signing out.